Hi everyone, Peter Carlos. It's been a while since I've spoken on YouTube, but here we are. Today, I want to talk to you guys about sensory work and why I think it's one of the skills that most actors don't use. And if they become aware of it, it completely transforms their work. I've tried to narrow it down to 10 points so you understand how to apply these skills. So then you use them on a film set or on a stage and watch what happens to your work. It's at a completely whole other level. The first point I need to bring across is why we do this. You do sensory work because when you're on a film set or on a stage, what you're doing is you're making everything personal and private. What you're making personal and private is the space, the objects of the character, and the other people. To the character, they're not just a prop. To the character, it's not just another actor. To the actor, it's not just, or to the character, it's not just a place. It's their home. It's an object that belonged to someone they loved, or it's got a history behind it. Think of it like this: we inject history into places, into people, and into objects. That is a remarkable skill. So that's why we do it. The second point is this: your body is capable of doing this anyway. You do sensory work every day in your life without thinking about it. And I want you to try these things. You smell your food to see if it's fresh or not, or you like it. You smell your clothing. We all do this to see if you can wear it again today or tomorrow. You smell your house. Perfumes remind you of people you loved, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You do sensory work when you get on a train. You kind of scan the room to see who you'll sit next to, who you'll avoid. That's called sensory work. Sensory work is when you go to something and it reminds you of something, like an old home or a place you used to visit with someone or a home you grew up in. That's sensory work because your brain is taking down this place and it triggers all these memories. And that's a remarkable skill as an actor. And that's why we do it. The third thing I tell people is this: don't treat sensory work like an acting exercise, because a lot of people do this. Oh, well, this is just an acting exercise. I'll just do it and blah, 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 blah. Now I'm in my head. Now it's not going to work anyway. The skill and the obligation and the craft of the actor is to create imaginary relationships, imaginary places, imaginary circumstances, and believe them, or trigger their body and mind, which is a whole other level, into believing them. So don't treat these acting exercises like an acting exercise, because all you'll do is bulldoze them and you won't actually start to believe them. As far as you're concerned, it's real. And I need you to understand the concept. The other one is, and I've got my notes down here, I always tell people to think like this. And I say this every night, every time I teach a class. If I blindfolded you right now and I took you to the beach, how would you know you're at the beach? You'd know you're at the beach because you can smell the ocean. You can hear the waves. You'll hear the birds. You'll hear the waves. Without me telling you anything, you will know you're at the beach. If I blindfolded you and took you to your mom's kitchen, a house you grew up in, how would you know you're at your mom's kitchen? You'd smell things. You'd smell the things mom cooked. If I took you to your bedroom, you'd know you're in that bedroom. The sounds would be different. The smells would be different. And that's why it's called sensory work, because I don't want you to just go there, all right, and think of, okay, it'll just come to me. No, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think like this. In this place, what can I smell? What can I hear? And then slowly, what can I see? Then slowly you'll start to get a sense of what you're creating. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very important. The other skill behind it is this: focus on things that feed you, dismiss things that don't. That doesn't just happen. Right now, I'm in a room, there's things around me, I can hear the neighbors, doing whatever's doing next door. If you're on a film set, there will be a lot of distractions. So if you let those distractions in, I want you to think like a filter. I'm going to filter out everything that doesn't feed this believability, and I will let in things that do, which means now I focus on things that make me believe what I'm creating. A sound, a smell. If something doesn't feed that because you hear someone talking next to you on the set, ignore them. Or you see something that doesn't feed you, ignore it. Only focus on things that believe you. And most of those, especially in today's world, because there's so much, green screen and digital, all that stuff. So the poor actor's left there with all these instruments and computers and cameras around them. We want you to shuttle that down, think like you got blinders on and go, okay, I'm in the bedroom I grew up in as a kid, because that's what the character needs. Smell, touch your bed, touch your wall, touch something, smell something. That way I'm only letting in the things that make me believe what I'm creating. And once again, that's a skill that you master over time. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? The other thing I want you all to understand, don't shit on your own work. I can't say that any better way, all right? Here's what I mean by that. You start doing this exercise and you go, well, I don't believe it. Well, it's not working for me. Well, no. I go, great. Now it's going to be a 0. I've talked about this many, many times in the past, but this is a great example of when to use it. If you create something and you believe it and it's a 3 out of 10, I need you to trust that that's a 3 out of 10, because now it will become a 4 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10. If you shit on it, if you go, I don't believe it, it becomes a 0. And then this and the instrument, for lack of a better word, starts to not believe it. It's a skill. I want you to focus on things and go, I believe it enough. Not how much. Enough is enough. If I believe it at a 2 out of 10 and I start to trust that, it will become a 3. Because you need to understand this. To get to an 8 out of 10 in believability, you've got to go through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so forth. If you shit on those, you'll become a 0. You got me? So it's important that you start to trust and believe that. Also, we need to understand this. It will never be a 10 because a 10 is reality and we're not there. And it will never be a 0. Right? Because you're going to get to some level. So start from the 1, work on the 2, and that happens by you going, I trust this, I believe it enough. If you push it, it's looking for result, and we don't want that. The other thing, this is a very, very important point. The next point is this. Don't answer any of this with your mind. Because your mind is only as good, they say in LA, it's only as good as far as you can spit. Meaning, yeah, I've got it. I've created someone's bedroom. I've created a place where I used to hang out with a loved one, for instance, all right? But if you just think about it, the moment someone walks in front of you with a grip, a light or whatever, the moment a director and a producer are talking next to you, it's gone. But if you touch it, and if you smell it, and if you hear it, and if you touch it again to reinforce all this made-up world with the senses, you've got a better chance of holding on to it. Otherwise, if it's just thinking, that's up here and that lasts a couple of seconds. And the other thing is this, the moment you answer it with your mind, you take away that thing that you might find something, you know what I'm saying? Something that you can't think of. I touch something, I go, oh, wow, it's clean or it's dirty or it's rough or it's smooth. That happens as you're touching it, because the moment you touch something or smell something, your brain is starting to look for the difference between the reality that it knows and what you're creating. Goes, well, I'm touching something which I know is rough, but I'm touching something, it's not quite rough. And your brain will go, okay, I'm trying to get to this, I'm here. And somewhere in there is where your acting lives. Where if you do it by this, all you have is one line, one sentence. Yeah, it's rough, and that's it. And that you can lose that like this. So when you're doing sensory work, answer with your senses, not with your mind. The other one is this. Don't mimic. This is paramount to this skill. Mimicking is this. Yeah, I've had breakfast today. I'm going to have breakfast tomorrow. And tomorrow when I have breakfast, I'll do exactly what I did the day before. It doesn't work like that. You don't eat by mimicking. You don't do anything in life by mimicking. You rediscover. Where actors mimic. And what happens with that is this mind jumps to the end result. It bulldozes everything. It hasn't created or reinforced what we've created. And then it starts to not believe it. I want you to think every single time you do a scene, every single time you do a scene on stage or another take on a film, or when you're practicing your lines or whatever it is, I want you to rediscover, not mimic. Because now I could be doing, for those of you that know sensory work, there's coffee cup, there's makeup and shaving, all that. I don't want you to think, well, I've done this exercise 10 times. No, you're having a morning drink with mom and dad. 10 times is nothing. If you get bored on the 3rd time, I want you to look at dad and go, Dad, I'm bored of having coffee with you. Mom, I'm bored. That's different. That now is folding back into the exercise. I'm not letting the fact that I got bored or I'm impatient or I'm looking for a result talk me out of the exercise. I'm learning how to fold it back in. So if you start getting bored because this exercise isn't feeding you, I want you to look at dad and mom and go, I'm bored of having coffee with you too. Watch what happens now, because now you go, shit, I said it, they're there, and it should impact you. It's mom and dad. Do you know what I'm saying? All these things are things that are in our life for many years. So it's not just up here, they're actually in our body, and it triggers the body into making believe what we've created. The other one is this. Once you get a good sense of all this stuff, I've created, let's say I'm doing a morning drink or I'm doing the bedroom, whatever. Now we say add words from a script. I want you to find the words so that when you're doing a scene on a film and the character is, God, I miss this place. I want you to go, what is it you miss? I want you to create it. So if the character misses a pier that they used to go to, I want you to create your pier and find out what you miss about the pier. And then you're going to say the lines from the situation, not from the page. That is a game changer. That is why we do sensory work. So I need you to understand that. I need you to go, wow, now the line comes from here. And I've said this before, not from page 9 or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't understand that. They get impatient. And the final thing is, I need you to apply this on your work out there. To do this as a skill, as an actor, or in a classroom, great. You get a point, you get an A+ for the class. Do it out there on the film set. Do it out there on the stage. Let's assume you're doing Death of a Salesman and it's whoever you like, Biff, Willy Loman, whatever it is. I don't want you to just focus on the lines. I want you to create the kitchen. I want you to create Biff's bedroom vis-a-vis your bedroom, and then actually touch things. Look outside. I just heard birds from my yard. I know exactly why they're here because there's bird food out there. So as I'm doing Biff, I would touch that, hear the birds or whatever I choose to hear that could feed that character in that situation. Now I'm not doing lines. There's a line where Biff said, God, a lot of, shit's gone on in this bedroom when the two brothers are talking, Biff and Happy, right? I want you to create those memories. So now as you look around the bedroom, you're going to see something, go, wow, I remember we did this and this in this bedroom. Got me? That's a skill. It's in there. I remember, what's her name? The mother. She says, I can smell the smell of aftershave in the house. Beautiful, because the smell of aftershave reminds her of when the family was together. They were getting ready to go out to, the football game or whatever it is. That line doesn't come from the script. It comes from her, the character, remembering the smell of aftershave. And I'm saying, what is it you smell to trigger those thoughts in you? That's a skill. That's why we do sensory work. Now, everyone understands this intellectually. Everyone understands it when I'm talking about it. I go, yeah, it makes sense. To have it as a skill, and I can't emphasize this enough, takes the rest of your acting life. Do this at home, do it again, do it again, do it again, till it's second nature. Now you get on a film set. And as I've said this before, you're doing some alien thing, you know what I'm saying? And you're on a spaceship and you're going to destroy Planet X. I want you to go there. I want you to create what Planet X is for you. What is it you want to destroy? If I gave you a big gun and go, gotta kill that, you personally, what would you destroy? Don't just think about it. The camera's right here. I would go behind the camera. I would create the person, not by thinking, by touching. Who is it I need to kill or destroy, whatever. Touch them, hear them, smell them, touch them again, and then get behind the gun and go, whatever it is. You got me? That way you're not just acting neck up. This is a skill that many amazing actors use. This is a skill that your body's capable of. This is a skill that sets your work at a whole other level. Start small, take it further. Somewhere I've got a YouTube telling you all the exercises. But I want you to start also by this. Today, go around your house, use your senses, go, how do I know I'm in the bedroom? How do I know I'm in the kitchen? How do I know I'm in the garage? Smell, sound, touch, and you're going to go, wow, I found it now. That is a remarkable skill. Learn it, master it, apply it to your skill set as an actor. Thank you. I'll try to be more regular with these things. Talk again soon. Bye.